Because there's one major thing that separates the superstars from the almost stars, and that's what I want to talk about today, okay? And so part of this idea of the number one superpower of successful singers has to do with something that I call FOPO. You guys ever heard of FOPO? F-O-P-O. FOPO is fear of other people's opinions, F-O-P-O. Fear of being judged. So do you have FOPO? Do you have fear of other people's opinions? Are you scared of being judged, taking things personally? You guys, taking things personally is the primary killer of dreams. I'm just saying, it is the number one killer of dreams. And the ability to perform in a way with your voice when you're on stage that has the power to change everything, change your life, change your career. And that's why the number one superpower of successful singers is not taking things personally. So if you're doing anything worthwhile, anything at all, there's 100% chance that you're going to be judged. I can guarantee you there's 100% chance, okay? Because when you're putting yourself out there in a bigger, more powerful, more dynamic way, somebody somewhere is not going to like what you do. You're not going to be their cup of tea. And there are a million reasons for this, but you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. But the thing I want you to know right out the gate is that the majority of the reasons that you're not somebody's cup of tea don't have anything to do with you. So basically, we're going to be talking about the superpower of how to not take that stuff personally, because that is the difference between those who go on to succeed as a superstar in a big way and those who don't, because they're willing to just keep putting themselves out there because they don't take it personally when they don't get what they want. And so when I talk to singers, and you guys know I talk to so many singers and I work with so many singers, the part that just kills me is when they stop taking action because they have this fear of what will people think of me? What will people think of my sound? What will people think of my performance? Like they're maybe willing to put themselves out there like a few times, but at a certain point, if they're not getting the result that they want, then they start going into this fear of what will people think of me? What will people think of my voice? What will people think? And it just prevents them from going after things, and they just end up tiptoeing around playing it safe because they're constantly trying to manage their performances, their auditions, their recordings to avoid any kind of negative judgment or commentary. It's like they're so focused on pleasing everyone because they think that that's the way that they're going to have a big successful career, that they just end up being bland and doing nothing for no one. The way you have a big successful career is not by pleasing everyone all the time. And here's why. So when you're so focused on being judged and you're in your head worrying about what people will think of you, of your sound, of your performances, you play it safe and you contract energetically, whether you realize it or not. And so then you don't access the full power of your instrument, of your sound, the full power of the truth of you in that moment. And so your sound and your performance, it just ends up being a fraction of what you're truly capable of. So you don't make a big impact on your audience, the kind of impact that you need to make in order to stand out from the competition and have a big singing career. And so while perhaps playing it safe, you maybe didn't get any horrible reactions to your performance, you also didn't blow them away either. And so you've left them kind of lukewarm, which doesn't make them want to hire you if it's an audition, or keep coming back for more, like, listening to your single more times, coming to more and more shows. So in trying to please everyone so that you can avoid judgment, you actually take yourself farther away from the career and the success that you really want. And number two thought that comes to mind is that, you guys, judgment is going to happen anyway. I guarantee you there will be people who don't like your voice. There will be people who do not jive with what you do, no matter how talented or how successful you are. It is a guarantee. And guess what? The more successful you get, the more people there will be who judge you or dislike you, or they don't like your music, because there are just that many more people who know who you are. So, if you think about I don't know, like Lady Gaga is a great example of this, where there's like a ton of people who judge her and make fun of her for the choices that she's made. Wearing a meat dress to the MTV Music Awards. Like there are people who just don't like what she does. Another example is Shakira. So me personally, I don't love Shakira's voice. I don't. It's not my cup of tea. And yet she's super successful. Okay. So if you can get that, like, that's going to happen anyway. There will be people who don't like what you do. Anyway, you will be judged. There will be haters. And it doesn't even matter what you do or how talented and successful you are. Then there's this acceptance, and there can even be some personal freedom around that. It has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them and their personal tastes and experiences. I don't like Shakira's voice. It's not my cup of tea. That doesn't mean that there aren't millions of other people who do. That's fine, right? So that has more to do with me than it does her. So my point is that you put yourself out there and you put your voice out there. And as long as you're being true to your voice, your sound, your truth, because you have no control over how other people are going to interpret that. So you might as well stop trying and quit letting that affect your impact and the actions you take. Like, just understand that it's something you have to accept. That when you start playing a bigger game and you start putting yourself and your voice out there more, there are always going to be people who don't like what you do. But you know what else is going to happen? There are going to be other people who you impact in an incredibly, incredibly powerful way. And there are other people who are going to watch your performances and listen to your recordings. And for them, you're it for them. They become your fans for life. And guys, it works that way for me too. Look, I don't have too many haters, but there have definitely been those over the years who did not like my voice, who did not like my performances. Or even now, people who from time to time, they put really rude things in the comments of my teaching videos. And there are also thousands and thousands and thousands of singers who thank me every single day for helping them here with what I share on Facebook and YouTube, and the hundreds of singers who I've personally transformed who have worked in our intensive training program. Singers who are doing incredible, incredible things with their singing careers thanks to the work that we've done together. And so if I was scared of being judged and putting myself out there, those people would have no idea who I was. They never would have come into our tribe and had their voices in their lives transformed. So I have a very simple choice to make. Am I going to allow what people say about me to stop me from doing all that good? Or am I just going to keep doing my thing and know that for some people, I'm just not going to be their cup of tea? That the judgment is more about them than it is about me. So you can't care about what people think or what haters are going to say, because if you do, it prevents you from taking the actions that you would take to be able to continue to put yourself out there, to be able to get the help you need to do it. If you continue to care so much, then you hold back and it sabotages your performances. It prevents you from the full power of your instrument and your sound. And it stops you from doing what you were put on this planet to do. And the saddest thing to me in life is that then you're wasting your talent. That to me is the saddest thing in life, wasted talent. The biggest tragedy is wasting your gift. And I don't want your talent to go to waste just because you're trying to control what your audience thinks of you or what your listeners might say. So the only thing that you should be focusing on is you being the very best version of you. Not so that someone else will like you or your performance, not so that someone else will accept you, not so that you can avoid someone saying something not so nice about what you're putting out there. You really have to do like a heart check and a gut check to say, am I really taking action? Am I really making an impact? Are my performances really aligned with who I am and the truth of my sound and all its power? And if you can really and truly stand firmly and say yes to that, stand in that truth and be centered in that, then all the other stuff really just does not matter. Just get that as long as you are showing up as the highest and best version of yourself as a singer, as a performer, some people will love what you do and some people will not. And at that point, it's just not even about you anymore. It's like, it's not even in your hula hoop. You know what I mean? Because it's not in your control what somebody else thinks of you. And it never was. It never was. Now, if you do not yet feel like you really are taking action, you really do know how to bring forth the maximum potential of your voice and how to make an impact. If you feel like your performances really are not quite aligned with who you are in the truth of your sound in all its power now, then you've got some work to do because those things are in your hula hoop. So look, if you want help learning how to make an impact in every performance, if you want help to get past those roadblocks that are preventing you from showing up to the highest truth of you and your sound so that you deliver and stand out from the competition every single time it counts, then we need to talk, okay? Because look, you guys, I know that I have a lot of content out there about vocal technique and, you know, your breath support and your resonance and all of that on this channel. And a big part of what I do with the singers in our intensive training program is to teach them high-level vocal technique, to really set up that rock-solid, reliable foundation. That is a huge part of what we do and what I teach our singers. But right alongside that, as we're setting that rock-solid technical foundation, is showing them how to understand and rewire the parts of their mindset and their thinking that have also been holding them back. Because I can teach you the best technique in the world. And trust me, guys, this is the best technique in the world. You guys, my singers' words, not mine, okay? We are the best at what we do. But I can give you all of that technique and it will not matter if you're still contracting around what people will think of you. Your brain will continue to convince you to play it safe and sabotage you from trusting and using all of that badass technique in the moment that you get in front of an audience, in the moment that it counts. Because if you're not where you want to be with your singing and your singing career, I guarantee you there is stuff in your mindset that's holding you back. I think maybe I've had, just in the course of my teaching, maybe like one or two that were completely dialed in mentally and they just needed technique. If that's ever happened, I can't even think of it. I can't even really think of it. Pretty much all the time, guys, singers need the technique, but there's all this other stuff, the emotional stuff, the mindset stuff, the real stuff that's holding you back. So I want to help you with all of the stuff at the same time. I want to give you the rock solid technique to know how to rely on your voice and deliver that when it counts, stand out above the competition. And I want to up-level how you show up to your voice, your journey, and up-level yourself in the world so that you make that bigger impact and you're feeling really good while you do it. And so if that's something that is resonating with you, if that's something that you want help with, then here is your next step. Join me for our upcoming 7-day online masterclass series. You may have heard me talk about this before, maybe even come to one before. If you have not, you are missing out. I'm going to show you how to be bulletproof in your technique and in your mindset so that you can stand out from the competition to go after and get the elite gigs that you really want. So we're doing it coming up May 12th through 18th. So 2 weeks from today, we start. 7 days online, 1 p.m. Pacific, we start, 4 p.m. East Coast, we start 90 minutes a day. And I do this for free, guys, because I want you to understand there is a different way to train. There is a better way to train that gets faster results in a shorter period of time. We're going to work breath support. We're going to deep dive into game-changing, really high-level breath support. You think you understand breath support, but trust me, there's stuff that you don't know. We're going to dive into resonance. We're going to do mind-body connection work. We're going to do straight up mindset work. There is opportunities for live hands-on coaching with me each day during the series. We have our mindset coach, Judy, who's unbelievable, come in. We have our other expert technique coaches coming in. Annie is coming in, if you guys know Coach Annie. So I'm going to put in the chat, and if you're watching on YouTube, it's in the video description, and there will be a link that you can click at the end of the video, I think. But either way, there's definitely a link if you're watching YouTube in the video description. If you're watching on Facebook, I'm going to put a link right now in the chat. What? Where'd the chat go? You guys, I'm such a dork when it comes to technology. It was just here. Ah, there we go. Now I'm seeing your comments. Oh my gosh, you guys, Christina and Crystal and Marilyn. I was like, not even, you guys, I'm such a tech tard. Okay, here's the link. May Masterclass series free register. Whoops, here. Okay, I should spell Masterclass too, the right way. Hold on. Masterclass. Okay, there we go. Enter. Set. There. Now it's in the comments, so you guys can register. And if you're in our Pro Singer group, it's all over our posts and stuff. You should be getting emails for it. And also part of this, you guys, is, so we have a wonderful studio concierge. I don't know if some of you may know her. Her name is Amy DeLuca. Amy is one of our biggest successes. Amy went from like corporate job she hated to being a full-time singer performer in like 4 months. And she's also our studio concierge. It's how she gives back. And she has been through it. She has, when I say it, I mean the slog of like not making it to being successful. And she's been through our training program. So she really knows how we work. And so for those of you who are doing the Masterclass series, Amy now works with our singers and helps them to get really clear on where they are, where they want to go, the gap between, and helps you get really clear on the things that you are wanting to work on, so that she shares that with us so that we can make sure that this Masterclass series is really tailored to you. So when you register, there's a link to get on a call with Amy so you can share all that, and she can kind of give you some resources right away, even before the workshop starts, training videos, things to jumpstart you. And then we also know you and we know what you're working on so that we can start to tailor this training to those of you who are going to be there. So when you get that and you see that post and that email after you register, do it. Get on her calendar. It's 15 minutes, but it's really helpful for you to be able to get these resources right away, and for us to be able to know who you are so we can make sure that the Masterclass series is right up your alley. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in today. Go forth in the world with that don't give a you-know-what attitude. You do you. And if you need help with your singing and your mindset, to that end, come to the Masterclass, May 12th through May 18th. All right, guys, bye. Have a wonderful day.